Napoleon Hill, he wrote the book called Think and Grow Rich. A lot of people attribute their success to it. It's a fantastic book, really good. This book he wrote before he died, and he had it locked up. He didn't put it out because he felt like he'd be prosecuted, right? Because it was, you know, old time shit. I don't know how old it was. Maybe it was still burning witches and shit back in them days, but it's like a conversation he has with the devil. And it was so controversial, some of the stuff he was saying, that his family locked it up and said, listen, y'all can't publish this shit till all of us die. And then all of them died, and now we got Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. They kept this joint on ice. The book is good. I suggest you get the audiobook, because the audiobook is like a play. It's like a conversation, and he's actually talking to the devil, and it's two different voices, and the devil sounds super fucking scary. One of my takeaways from this book, the devil called people drifters, and the kind of person he called a drifter was the person who didn't have a solid plan in life, who didn't have what he called a definite purpose, who wasn't like moving towards something with a real game plan. Like, you can still say you want to accomplish a bunch of shit. You can still say you want to do things and not really going after it like you mean. You still be a drifter. And the drifters are people who like waste time. They spend a lot of time watching TV, social media, kind of like bullshitting their time away. And what do they say about idle hands, right? Idle hands are the devil's workshop. And they kind of go into detail about that, you know, how like that's what he uses to control people. You know what I'm saying? He uses cheap entertainment, dopamine, to control people and knock them off their path. And the only people, the devil was saying in the book, the only people he couldn't control were the people who had like a real game plan for life, who was going after it every day. You know what I'm saying? Who would stop at nothing to accomplish it. And that kind of goes back to how we started this shit off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have a game plan. You got to have a game plan to be covered in name brand. You know what I'm talking about? That's why, you know, having a calendar is so important, like planning your fucking life out, right? Bruce Lee said, if you love life, don't waste time, because time is what life is made of. And Napoleon Hill, well, the devil in the story was talking about the drifters are people who just waste time. And you see these people all the time, man. They might talk a game, they might say they want to accomplish all this other shit, but they bullshit so much time away. They don't have their life like planned out. And the only way to escape that fate is to really plan out your life. So as you can see, man, I have every week planned out. I have every day planned out. Like, this is what 1 week looks like. And this white space is going to get filled up. Like, when this day comes, like, this is a few weeks ahead of time, but that shit is going to be full. There's going to be no white space, like, as we get there. But it's a little open now because, you know, people on my team can put stuff in there. But as they approach, I'm going to fill up all this white space. And I approach each day with a game plan. I know exactly what I'm going to be doing every hour of it, every day for the most part. And I attack it, you know. And even like leisure, you can still have fun, but it's planned. There's gonna be stuff I'm gonna be doing with my girlfriend. There's gonna be stuff I'm gonna be doing with my son. There's gonna be stuff I'm gonna be doing with my nieces and nephews. It's gonna be planned out. It's not gonna be random, because you live life random according to this, then the devil can get his fucking hands on you, man. He can get his hands on you, and he can steer you towards his means, his goals. But if you got a plan, you can really accomplish some good things, man. And there's this one part in this book that was super fucking funny, man. It was funny to me, where the devil was saying, man, I almost got you, Napoleon Hill, but I wasn't able to, man, because you had fucked around and fell in love. You got a girlfriend and you got a girl. But he said, before that, I was getting you, man, with all these hoes. Those were the words he said. But I was able to distract you with bitches and shit. I was throwing bitches at you, and I was keeping you off your plan. And I read that shit, I was like, oh shit, nigga, how many motherfuckers do you know like that? Who would be super successful? They didn't spend so much time chasing hoes. You get what I'm saying? And that's when I really started to look at it like, oh shit, this is causing a lot of men who would be great to really fall off and be distracted. And you end up chasing empty victories. The time you spend chasing them, or, you know, like, you know, a lot of these chicks, man, are fucking mental terrorists, right? They'll fucking throw you off your fucking game. And even when you're not with them or think they'll fuck up your brain, where you won't be as focused accomplishing your goals. Obviously, we're developing a product to help you guys with that. Thot Repellent. You know what I'm saying? But I think this book really helped inspire that. Outwitting the Devil. Gonna make it easier to outwit the devil with Thot Repellent. You know what I'm saying? But there's a whole part in there where he's like, God damn it, Napoleon Hill, I almost had you, man, with these hoes. Those aren't the words he used. I'm paraphrasing. It was like, but fuck, you fucked around and found that one chick you kind of fell in love and shit. and then you was able to like devote all this time to your goals instead of chasing hoes. Some of the best-selling books of all time. You a literary legend. Damn, if you ain't fall in love with that girl, if you would have kept chasing these hoes like a fucking punk, I'd have been able to get you. I remember reading that shit and I was like, you're not gonna get me. It's real shit, man. Think how much more successful you may be if you weren't like spending so much time chasing girls or thinking about girls or trying to get to them. I mean, this is real shit. This is real shit. You know, these are fucking empty victories. Because what are you gonna do? What are you gonna accomplish? You're gonna have sex with some girl who's had sex with a bunch of other people. Oh, big fucking accomplishment, dumbass. It's an empty victory, man. It's an empty victory. You end up chasing dopamine instead of chasing victory, but you're still using energy to chase. You're gonna use energy to chase either one, right? So you're either gonna chase dopamine, chase excitement, right? Or you're gonna chase victory. You get what I'm saying? So when I see a lot of these red pill guys, and some of them I was cool with, man. I was cool with Kevin Samuels, you know what I'm saying? I had dinner with him before, like he was a cool guy, but he was talking about exercising your options and all that stuff. And I hear a lot of that in the red pill community. And I'm like, yo, that's the dumbest shit you could do, bro. If your goal is to make a lot of money and have a lot of success for yourself and your family. Because the dopamine you get from novelty, it's a high dopamine spike, but we talked about this last week or in my video on dopamine, is when you have these huge dopamine spikes, what happens is your body uses up the dopamine that's available in your brain, and then you go below baseline, and then you kind of sad after it. It just can be anything, but you know, chasing new girls is an easy way to spike dopamine. You dip below baseline when you have these high spikes, and then you're thinking, fuck, how do I get better again? And this is how people get addicted to that rush of chasing new girls, or get addicted to anything, right? Because it's the same thing with partying or playing video games or any of these things that manufacture an artificial dopamine that would be like above what you can get like naturally, right? You go to a fucking club, you hear all that music, boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, when would a caveman experience that kind of dopamine, right? But you motherfuckers are doing it like every night. Then you're adding fucking drugs and alcohol to it and new random chicks. You're gonna experience a spike in dopamine that's kind of like beyond what our nervous system was designed for. And then after it, you're gonna experience a low as a result. And it's gonna be difficult for you to be motivated to do anything after that. You're just gonna end up chasing that dopamine again, chasing that dopamine again, chasing that feeling. Because one thing you should know about dopamine is that you need it to actually accomplish your goal, right? Without dopamine, you won't have motivations. Man, how do I get motivation? You got to stop wasting your dopamine on bullshit, whether it's video games, getting high, partying, chasing women, casual sex. All these things will spike your dopamine. The problem is you waste it, right? If you were to use that dopamine towards the acquisition of capital or the accomplishment of your goals, you'd be so much more motivated, because you need dopamine for motivation, right? So anybody who lacks motivation, look at the things you're wasting your dopamine on. Random girls, partying, casual sex, recreational drugs, alcohol, right? This is one of the reasons why I preach sobriety. Because, you know, you're going to waste your dopamine on that shit. But if you imagine you spend all your dopamine and focus it towards your goals, because that's where motivation comes from. Motivation actually comes from dopamine. Without anyone who lacks motivation, lacks dopamine, and you're wasting it on bullshit. I'm not telling you not to drink or not to go out or not to do the things, not to enjoy life, right? But there's other ways to enjoy life. That's what I'm trying to say, right? You can also enjoy life by accomplishing your goals, by working hard, seeing how much you can push yourself, building generational wealth for yourself and your family, you know, like actually real shit. This book says all of that and more in a different way. I highly suggest you read it. If I were you, I'd get the audiobook. The audiobook is super good. It's like a conversation with Napoleon Hill and the devil. It's super good. I think you should read it. They won't get into the neuroscience like I just did. This might be more digestible for you, man. Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. Good ass book.